That's exactly right, Alan. If they hadn't, what you just said, if they hadn't been persecuted, the other parts of the world wouldn't have heard the gospel. And that's exactly right. That's what we are called to do, to advance the gospel. That's what our life is. I mean, and that's what we see here in Acts 8 in this persecution of the church. That we don't need, right? Some believers do. They don't see the vision for advancing the gospel through making disciple makers, investing their own personal life, their own personal walk in the life of somebody else. They don't see that, but that's the last thing Jesus said for us to do. They see their walk with Jesus as I've got to have that building open. I've got to go into that building and be sung to and be preached to and be able to, shake hands and see the brethren and drink coffee and go to the coffee bar. And I mean, that is the sad extent of some people's vision for being a Christian. And we do not see that here in Acts chapter 8. We see them being persecuted, killed, Stephen in chapter 7. And then right there, it says in verse 1, on that day, a great persecution broke out against the church. And then you turn right over to the next couple verses, and it says that they scattered throughout Judea and Samaria. Godly men buried Stephen and mourned him deeply. Saul began to destroy the church. And then verse 4, those who had been scattered, what did they do, y'all? What does verse 4 say that those that scattered did?
Preach the word wherever they went.
They preached the word. That's what verse 4 says. So what do we know about these people in verse 4? I don't know. The text doesn't tell us anything about who they were, but it tells us what they did. That's significant. That we know what they did. And what it says that they did, they preached the word. And so it is this is the difficult conversation. This is the clumsy, awkward conversation that we have when it comes to us Christians going to church. And I mean, do we go to church? Yes. Are you supposed to go to church? Yes. Hebrews 10:24, don't forsake your assembling together. But we are so quick to substitute going to church as the be all and end all of, as the best and fullest expression of my walk with Jesus. And it is not. It's not. Best expression of my following Jesus is that I make disciples who are going to make other disciples. I take my walk with Jesus and I pour that into other people and make disciples who make other disciples.